guys, Q here, and this is how to defeat Jenova Dreamweaver on hard mode in Final Fantasy VII Remake. One thing here is that we're going to be trying to save MP so that we have it for the next two battles, the one with only Cloud and the one with Barret and Aerith. However, Tifa's MP, feel free to use that if you need. For equipment, we're actually going to be doing melee build for Cloud, and go ahead and go with the Fury Ring on that one. Again, a melee build for Tifa with the Fury Ring, and then Aerith, who's the person we'll be controlling, go ahead and use the Mithril Rod and get her the Star Pendant. You don't want her to get poisoned. The other materia slots are going to be used for other things, so make sure that Star Pendant. For Cloud, we're actually going to use the Assess materia and the Chakra materia. You don't necessarily need the Chakra. I don't think I used it, but you get that Assess. Standard Steadfast Block and Prayer, 2 HP ups, and then I gave him, I think it was 1 luck up and 1 refocus, just trying to get a little bit more damage there. And then you do want to give him the Elemental and Fire in the armor slot, just to help protect him a little bit. For Tifa, you're going to want the enemy skill if you have the Bad Breath skill. If you don't, feel free to use a poison materia, or you can just use a poison materia anyway, because the Bad Breath skill does take 2 ATB charges, but I found the Bad Breath worked really well. If you don't have it, feel free to use a poison materia. I gave her a chakra again just in case. We didn't really need it, but I think I forgot I even had it. Steadfast Block materia, and a prayer materia, 2 HP ups. There we go. Luck up and a refocus, same as Cloud. And then for her, you do want to give her a revival materia and a healing materia, just in case. You may also want to give Cloud a revival and a healing, but Tifa's got the spare MP in this one. For Aerith, I did give her a revival and healing. You want to have that on at least 2 of your characters, and you'll see why, particularly with the revival. Gave her the Steadfast Block and the Prayer materia. Of course, 2 HP ups. And I think it's 2 magic ups. We're really not going to be using her magic much at all, so you want to, anytime you do, you want to have that magic up for the extra damage. And then give her an elemental and wind materia in the armor slot. This is really going to increase her survivability, as she'll be the one we're controlling and will get hit by the wind attacks. Lastly, you do want to have someone have Bahamut. I would actually suggest giving that to Tifa instead of Cloud, just because Cloud has like Infinity's End and things like that. So if you give it to Tifa, she's the one who can use her ATB. You use her ATB to cast Bahamut when it's appropriate, and you'll see when that is as we go along. So this is just kind of an unavoidable stupid scene thing here. It's just, you gotta wait for the trigger to load. There we go. We can go ahead and skip it. Alright, so as soon as the battle starts, any day now. Love these PS4 loading screens. There we go. As soon as the battle starts, switch to Aerith and hide behind a pillar. And this is basically all you're going to do with Aerith for most of the phases. Now, the first thing we're doing is we're going to be using Assess with Cloud. The reason we're using Assess is because we're going to use the Jenova Dreamweaver's HP to get timing on between the phases. So just, you have to use Assess even if you've assessed her in the past, just because then you can see and check the HP. And again, just like basically all the other boss battles, you can see that even though Aerith is getting stopped, he used arrow. She's behind the pillar, so the vengeful attack won't hit her. So you can just hang out here with Aerith, getting stopped and healed basically. The key thing we're looking for is those HP between the phases. Tifa and Cloud will not push the enemy. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. So once Tifa has 2 ATB charges, or the one for poison, go ahead and use that. That poison damage is going to help out a bit, and also does put her to sleep here, but it's not that necessary. I just found the bad breath worked well, but we don't want to over poison and have her resistant to it. So we're going to do one here for the first phase. And then that's it for the first phase. Cloud and Tifa will not push the enemy into the next phase. So I'll go ahead and speed it up here any second now. But basically, we're just going to wait for them to get her HP down to the threshold, which should be coming up any second now. And this is a good way for you to just kind of pace the phases, knowing when the next phase is coming. There we go. 90549 is the lowest health she can get. So all you got to do is peek out with Aerith and do a single attack. Or you could use an ability with Tifa or Cloud. Just some sort of action will push them into the next phase. And then phase 2 is exactly the same. Phase 3 is where things get interesting, and 4 can be a little tough, but again, just stand here absorbing those arrows, being blocked from the vengeful beam by the pillar, and getting stopped. It's really not an issue. She uses a little bit more attacks during this phase, but it's really not an issue. Use Prey when you need to. But again, not that big a deal, and Cloud and Tifa are going to get her health down to that phase 3 threshold. There we go. 50934 is the phase 3 threshold. Now you can see that she has the repel, the magic resistance icon on there, and I forgot about that, so I peeked out to just send her into the third phase, and instead of doing that, she did something a little weird here, and it was annoying. Oh wait, I'm thinking of, yeah, she did something weird between the second. Here we go. So instead of pushing into the third phase, she just kind of like did a weird vengeful vengeance attack, and the rain. She shouldn't even be able to use this attack right now, but the game was doing something weird. I'd never seen this before recording the video. There we go. And now go figure. Now it pushes into the third phase. But either way, if she has that repel on, that magic resist on, just use an attack by one of your other characters to push her into the third phase. Now, for the start of the third phase, we are going to use the third phase to get our limit breaks. It's not entirely necessary, but it does help. And since using the strategy takes quite a while anyway, might as well. And basically what you're going to do, same thing with Aerith, but you see these vengeful, I forget what it's called, vengeful tentacles that are going around. Make sure to block it in case, but at the start of phase 3, she's only going to have 3 tentacles. And basically, you are going to get her down to, you're going to want to get her down to the phase 4 threshold. You see how she's immune right there? So she has like 3 waves of tentacles. Feel free to take out 2 or 3 of them with Aerith's fully charged Tempest attack, just in case, because they can take out your character if they all use their own vengeful tentacles. There we go. Dreams of Vengeance on the same character. They can actually take out a character, which is fine. We're going to want that a little later, but we don't want it until we're ready for it. So at this point, I just took out a few of them that could actually hit Aerith, and then I'm just letting Cloud and Tifa do their thing. Same thing, more tentacles showed up, so I just kind of took out the ones that were in range with Aerith and her Tempest, her fully charged Tempest ability. Now that Dreams of Flame can do some damage as well, but that's why we gave Cloud the Elemental and Fire Absorption. But basically, we're just waiting for Cloud and Tifa's limit breaks to charge up. Now, see, Jenova Dreamweaver hasn't even gone down in health much at all. So once she starts having a break in between tentacle waves, she'll be pressured. And that's your time to use some abilities. You can use Tifa's Star Shower. There we go. Tifa's Star Shower or Cloud's Infinity Zen. Now, she'll usually counterattack with that super strong sword. And that's good, because we want to get that summon gauge to pop. So I would actually suggest just doing it with Cloud, since Tifa has revive and healing materia on. But either way, you want to get one of your characters hit by that while they have low health, to either kill them or get them into a critical HP state. And that's basically it. We're going to keep checking the HP, but in between tentacle waves, we're going to use Infinity Zen or Star Shower, whatever abilities you need to just do some damage to Jenova. But we're looking for, we're trying to get as close as we can to the phase 4 threshold without actually triggering it, because we want to make sure that we are perfectly set for the for phase 4 to get everything off and try and kill her as quickly as possible. So just every now and then I'm using abilities and checking the HP. There we go. So I see that she currently has 33292. Cloud's Infinity Zen is doing about 3000 damage. So there we go. And it should put her around 29,000. And the threshold is just above 28,000. I think it was 28,500. So we're going to use that, and then we're going to plan our phase 4 and set it up as perfectly. Now, unfortunately, I did not plan it correctly. I thought Tifa's Star Shower was going to be enough damage to push her into phase 4, but it didn't, and I actually had to quickly get rid of another phase before Bahamut. So that's why I would suggest having Tifa have Bahamut to summon here, so that you can use Cloud's Infinity Zen to actually push her into stage 4. Sorry, phase 4. So before the end of phase 3, you're going to summon Bahamut, and then use Cloud's Infinity Zen to push her into the next phase. You can see that did not work out the way I wanted it to here, and you're going to see me panic to try and get her into the next phase before Bahamut used his Mega Flare attack. But yeah, he took Tifa out again, and I'm like, what happened? Oh no. So again, give Tifa Bahamut so that Cloud can use his Infinity Zen to push into the next phase. So again, I'm just trying to take out these tentacles as fast as I'm like, no, this battle takes so long to do safely. I don't want to mess it up. But we got it. So now it's pressured, and I'm just like, Tifa, just go to town. You gotta stagger. That's fine. We just gotta get her below the threshold. And I'm like, oh, started? Nope, not yet. Oh, that's right. It's like 28,254. I was just like right there. Finally got her into phase 4, and this is where the fun begins. Now, phase 4 is very, very similar to phase 3, to be honest, but because of that that MP draining HP regenerative rain there, you want to actually just go right off the bat. So you're gonna use another bad breath with Tifa as soon as she gets the ATB or poison. There we go. And so she's going to use a bad breath and then launch everything you have at her. You want to do this as quickly as possible. I waited too long. And you're going to see her become immune to Tifa's really Tifa's limit break, actually. So we got Bahamut's Mega Flare off, and I launched Cloud's limit break, and I think that one's going to hit, but I need Tifa's to hit as well. And if you look closely at these damage marks, so I waited too long, and boom, just became immune to physical damage. And Tifa didn't even get the rest of her attack off. So as you can see, the limit breaks should have taken her out right there, to be honest. The limit breaks along with Bahamut. But I kind of like when things go wrong in these videos, so I can show you that the strategies are solid. Even when things go wrong, they still work. But at this point, she's poisoned. And you're just going to want to use those abilities. It's basically the same exact thing with Tifa and Cloud doing the damage. Use their abilities. Luckily, she switches immunities as opposed to when she would be just completely immune when she had the tentacles out. And that can happen again in this phase, but it's virtually the same thing. Hang back with Aerith. And you can see, even though the tentacles are out, she is not immune to damage in this phase. So it's a good thing. Just take her out. If you launched those limit breaks fast enough, she wouldn't have been immune to it, and that was just bad judgment on my part. But the strategy is real simple. Hang back with Aerith behind a pillar for phase 1 and phase 2. She'll get stopped and she'll get arrowed, but the arrow will heal her, so it's not that big of an issue. Let Cloud and Tifa do the damage, and then once she reaches the phase 1 threshold, phase 2 threshold, launch in one attack to push her into the second phase. Second phase is exactly the same until she gets to the phase 3 threshold. Phase 3, have Tifa take out just like 2 or 3 of the tentacles, and then have Aerith take out 2 or 3 of the tentacles, and then let Tifa and Cloud's limit breaks rise using those phases. And after 2 or 3 waves of tentacles, you will have the opportunity to launch some abilities at her and actually damage. Take this opportunity to let Tifa or Cloud die so that they can so that the summon gauge shows up. And then once you get her down just above the phase 4 threshold, that's when you want to summon Bahamut and then deal that last bit of damage to push her into phase 4. As soon as phase 4 starts, just go ahead and use your limit breaks. Save the poison or the bad breath until after you use those limit breaks, because you don't want her to be immune before they get those off. So I hope this wasn't too messy and too complicated for you. It's a pretty simple strategy, just kind of need to tweak it on the fly as it goes. Got another one for Rufus and Darkstar. It's a real nice cheese. So until then, I'm the Strategic Gamer, and I hope it helps.